Asteria held her shit together as she approached the monolithic black citadel, her boots loud on the polished obsidian flagstones of its central circular courtyard. She tipped her chin up, clenched her fists at her sides to stop them from shaking, and strode towards her doom with the same resolve as she had managed to cling to during her trek through the previous 6 circular courtyards that surrounded the citadel like concentric rings. She was fairly certain that these were the last few moments of her life, and it was about to come to a grisly close. It had taken her days of groveling to her superiors, issuing profuse apologies unbecoming of a demon, and having to bite her tongue when her temper had flared. But she had secured a meeting with her Dark Lord. She had been elated when the leader of her legion had informed her that their master was willing to speak with her. But as the hours had trickled past, that elation had turned to full-blown fear. She had failed in a very important mission, the sort no amount of groveling could actually correct, so she wasn't sure why she had thought this was going to end well. The meeting a ridiculous part of her had believed was going to somehow redeem her was probably in fact a meeting in which she was going to discover her punishment. Would it be a swim in the lava pit while the devil watched her burn, or something far worse? She wouldn't be the first demoness or demon to be sentenced to spend time in his bed. It wasn't an honor. It was a death sentence. She hadn't heard of anyone surviving the torture of being his bedfellow, mostly because those he didn't eventually kill during the act were tossed into the lava pit when he was done with them. Several low-ranking young demons scurried past her, dressed in black jackets and trousers, their feet bare and bloodied. The black sacks they carried over their shoulders dripped crimson, smelling of entrails. Asteria swallowed hard, and it was damned difficult to hold her nerve as she watched the cleanup team carting away whatever poor bastard had just finished meeting with the Prince of Darkness. An unfortunate lover? She had heard the stories from those who served in his dark citadel. The young souls assigned to mopping up the mess after a lover had done or said something to flip his switch. Rumor had it that he went through at least 2 mattresses a week and demanded a fresh, brand-new set of sheets every few hours. His appetite for fucking was as insatiable as his appetite for destruction and death, and unfortunately that meant the two often coincided. She sucked down a deep breath as she reached the grand arched entrance of the towering castle and looked up its height, taking in the jagged towers that rose into the dark gray sky of hell. Light from the bubbling pits of lava beyond the walls of the central courtyard and the braziers that formed a circle, lining those walls, tried to lend warmth to the matte black stone of the fortress, but only managed to make it look more sinister by casting shadows in the recesses. The 4 huge demon males guarding the entrance eyed her, their elliptical pupils stretched thin in the center of their black irises and burning gold. Elite. They were kept in a permanent state of rage in order to maintain their appearance, keeping them looking as dangerous and deadly as her kind could be. She had such a dark side herself, but unleashing it right now would be a big mistake. Huge. Her Dark Lord didn't appreciate those below him showing up on his doorstep looking ready for war. It was the reason she had chosen her lighter black armor, the red-edged metal plates fitting more closely to her legs and hips, and across her chest, and had foregone wearing the gauntlets that normally encased her forearms and hands. She had also brushed her long black hair, tamed the gold-to-red streak that ran down the front right side, and had taken her time in front of the mirror in her hut, applying black around her blue eyes and painting her lips crimson. She had even taken the time to preen her black leathery wings, buffing the membranes with wax until they shone, and had done the same with the small obsidian horns that curled from behind the pointed tips of her ears, following the curve down to end in a point near the lobes. She eyed the 4 ripped, bare-chested demon males guarding the entrance again, envied the bastards a little as she gazed at their horns. Males had bigger ones, the sort that twisted around to form deadly daggers beside their temples when they were enraged. Asteria sighed, wishing she had such horns. One of her friends had told her once that she had horn envy. She had denied it at the time, but it was true. Whenever she found herself banging a demon, she couldn't keep her hands off their horns.